Good morn-ish. You having problems keeping it up
Droop
there?
issues.
Yeah, I thought it looks like
Droopy issues, Graham.
I mean, I don't have those issues because I'm not making it apparent, but I also have said issues.
It needs to be tightened.
Good after morning. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. First questions first. Is there echo? Because we've been doing some mic tweakage. And if it works perfectly, then we've done the tweakage. If it doesn't, then Bibby did it. So does it sound okay? It's fine, nice. What about if we raise our voices? Is there an echoage going on then?
No!
No,
We're kind of going on a board.
Are our levels kind of similar-ish? Because everything looks okay on the the wave jobber thing down there. Everything seems to be kind of balanced. G, when don't you raise your voice? Good point. well said. Sounds crispy as to
Fantastic.
Nice.
We've this studio has been in use for the last couple of weeks, even though me and you haven't been in here.
Yep.
So we're just trying to tweak everything to make sure that everything is back to what we'd come to expect when we're doing this podcast and stuff, because there has been other filming that have been taking place, which you may have already seen episode 1 that's on our YouTube now. If you've not already seen it, then do go ahead and go and have a look at it. Tommy made his ICU debut.
It was good.
With some pack openings.
Not
the FIFA kind.
What did you think of the like Pokemon TCG video Bibbler?
Yeah, it was Graham. He was fantastic. Grummum.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, me and Bibby get absolutely done in like the first 30 seconds of the video. Like Tommy talks about like the channel and what we do because it's an introduction to Pokemon, the trading card game.
As well as him.
Yeah, as well as him, as well as ICU, because a lot of his viewers, like, because he has his own content stuff that he does outside, so he's bringing his viewers in. So he gives a little bit of a general overall background, and he mentions, so who is this guy? Well, I know you're used to seeing Bibbly and Grumhum, and he's like subtly edited our faces.
Subtly? I look like a do you remember that? What was the song called? It was Starlight.
Starlight,
can you hear me? That one, yeah.
Superman Lovers.
Superman Lovers. It's a fucking tune. But that's what I ended up looking like, the giant potato that's in that.
I look like something from fucking. What did they say? Oh, what, Nigel Thornbury. Fucking, my eyes like just moved further away. Something from Hey Arnold. That kind of thing.
I think he does that. Tim Curry does that, doesn't it? It took me. It might have only been 5 years ago that I realised that it was actually him that did it. I know, but when I'm a kid, it's kind of like whatever you're hearing and seeing are two completely different things.
I was just like, that's Home Alone, man.
That is exactly what I made because I think they're the only two things, and Scary Movie 2, that I've ever seen him in.
Horror Picture Show?
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So like
Congo.
What?
Congo, like the film with like they go to find the great white ape kind of thing. You never seen the Congo? What? It's a quality film.
We're down deep in the middle of the jungle.
In the middle of the Congo. The something touches something and the something and the song go. I used to know that word for word.
Bongo.
Yeah.
I love that.
They
it was
call
such
it
a good
bongo.
drink. Such a good drink as well.
Bongo. They drink it in the Congo. But anyway, that's enough of that. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, as you can see on the screen. And I'm joined by Bibbler. Nice.
It was Pennywise. Yes, I've seen him in something else. Tim Curry was Pennywise, wasn't he?
Oh, the original. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well done.
There
you fucking nerd, David.
Yeah, honestly, David. God. Tito, welcome in, though. Hi, how you doing? Demos, welcome in, dude. Good morning, gents. I'll read.
Afternoon.
For everyone else, hey, please do feel free to get in the chat, because we are here with the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We're going to bring you the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games over the next hour or so. I don't know what you're thinking. We didn't get a scoop last week, apart from Baby's solo scoop last Monday. So there will be tons of news. Well, no, we've only got 4 stories because all that's happened, and it's been and it's done and it's been spoken about, and we want to keep things brief. So we have 4 stories to run through today, which are the biggest, the best, and breaking stories in the world of video games.
Of course.
No, that's not quite true, because we didn't include the story about the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog being arrested.
That was breaking news to me about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. I was doom scrolling and I saw he'd been arrested. Some developer from Square Enix, because I think he worked at Square Enix at the time, and basically Square Enix bought a studio. They all knew it was happening, so bought shares in the studio, insider trading, all arrested. Nice. So there you go. Unlucky. So that story's not in the news, but there you go. You do know about it now.
That's the bonus news.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-show. Let's go, baby. But yeah, we are here for the next hour or so. We will give you our thoughts and impressions on all of those stories. But it's not just about our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions. And then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works. So please, if you are in the chat, do feel free to get involved. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single record day.
Sometimes during the week.
Yeah.
Mostly at weekends now.
Yeah. Busy old period. I mean, it will become apparent over the course of time that hasn't been established.
Yes.
Why we aren't as live as we like to be.
Well, they won't know until it actually happens, will they?
Yeah. So, but we can't say what it is and when until it's done. So yeah, we'll talk to you about it once we can talk to you about it. But basically, we're busy with work stuff. So yeah, but we will be back to normal at some point in time. However, just a heads up. Only yesterday, talking about the weeks ahead, I realised how staccato, nice word, our stream schedule is going to be until 2023. I had to look what year we were in then because I wasn't quite sure.
The next, what are we on now? Next 5 weeks is going to be...
Well, this weekend I'm on stream. Next weekend, I don't know if you're aware, it's my birthday. Next
really?
Weekend. It's the 3rd, the 3rd of December is my birthday. So next weekend...
Okay.
Something is happening for my birthday. I don't know what. So I'm not going to be on stream.
Okay.
The weekend after that, I'm going to Bruges, which is kind of birthday, kind of Christmas markets for my mates. So not going to be on stream. Weekend after that is 17th of December. So I'll probably have a stream then. Weekend after that is Christmas Eve. So it's highly unlikely there's going to be a stream on Christmas Eve.
Absolutely not.
And then you've got that Christmas, New Year period where you think there's loads of time off. We'll get loads of time in for streaming games, and all you know is life just descends into a fit of turkey and cheese, and then you're back at work again in January. So there's going to be a lot of weekends without my streams. I assume the same thing's going to be happening with Bib as well, because his birthday's in there as well. So the weekend when I'm in Bruges is Bib's birthday weekend. Yep. So he's not going to be around for that sort of thing. So basically... lots and lots of stuff. So streams on weekends and outside of work will be impacted quite a bit. Mm-hmm. The scoop stuff could be impacted quite a bit, but as with any sort of work stuff, the further into December we get, more stuff will stop happening with other work, so we can do our stuff. Mm-hmm. But then when we get well into December, Christmas happens, so then everything stops. So yes, basically what I'm trying to say is it's the holiday season. We've got lots of stuff. There's 2 birthdays. There's the channel birthday and all that sort of stuff. So content will be... It will be.
I am looking at my schedule, and it's not as jam-packed at this moment in time than I thought it was going to be. The only weekend that I know I will not be doing at this moment in time is going to be my birthday one, the week after yours. So I will stream on yours, and you might end up because you're going to be in Bruges. So yeah, it's going to be a bit sporadic, like you say. My December calendar isn't as jam packed as it used to be, but I'm imagining, oh god, it's our Christmas due on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I've got from the 17th of December until the 3rd of January off. Woo! Nice. I'm
off on the 15th of December and the 21st as well.
You're not.
Yeah.
Actually, I've checked that, and you're actually not.
Joseph's first birthday. Fuck me, it's mental, isn't it? He's 11 months old yesterday.
Madness.
Mental.
I mean, good on him, though, to choose December, which is the same month where my birthday is, by the way, which Tito, I appreciate. Exclamation mark 312, exclamation mark 123, exclamation mark 213, exclamation mark 321. Nice! You were right first time. It's not on the chat, but I've only set that one up at home. TV is my friend. On this, this channel is actually active. Up the ICU.
Fair.
Let's go.
Fair. Last week, it's like you say though, it's just unless you're actually in the jelly offices, you probably don't realise how busy we actually are at this moment in time. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Well, at least it keeps the lights and mics on. Do you know what I mean?
When he gets sentenced, will he drop all his rings? I don't get it.
I don't. David, have we mentioned something about getting arrested?
Sonic!
Yes! Fuck's sake. It's like that one shared brain cell just got activated.
You could just hear the ring drop.
Christ. Okay.
We got there eventually. Nice. We'd spoken about plenty of other shit in between then, so we didn't know. It's fine. So yeah, for those that didn't get it, the dropping knowledge rings is a Sonic reference. Sonic, you get injured, he goes bling.
Well played, David.
So nice. There we go. Oh, Tito got it. Tito got it. Nice. At least you were listening, Tito. Well done. Yes, if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved because we are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. But the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. There is lots of places where over 165,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those people. Nice. Before we jump in, a reminder that we do the loot drop every month. The first Monday of the month, someone bags themselves a prize. Nice. This month's prize, well, December's prize, I don't know. No idea, mate.
Well, there's a load of games coming out. They've got Marvel Midnight Suns happening fairly soon.
Maybe we just do Christmas game of your choice, kind of thing.
Oh,
then.
yeah, that's a good one.
So get yourself a Christmas present. What would you like to play?
Okay.
We'll sort your Christmas game out. You don't have to speak like that. You can speak however you want. But yeah. So the loot drop, anyone that is a sub on the channel will be counted in that. That's a tier 1, 2, 3, prime sub, a gifted sub. Anyone that is a sub on the first Monday of the month at 3 p.m, we do a list export, and everyone that's in that gets drawn. Yeah. One person bags themselves a prize. Before we jump into the show as well, a reminder... A reminder of even our channel partners. As you can see on the TV, over there behind Bib, and over here behind me, you can see the list of partners that help support our content. You can check out !Astro in the chat, !Insert coin, and !GT Omega. They all support our channel, so do feel free to give them some love. Speaking of GT Omega, by the way, the World Cup is on.
Yeah.
If you're going to be watching France versus Australia tonight, head over to GT Omega Racing on Twitter, because all you have to do is predict the score, and if you're right, 5 people will bag one of these chairs.
Okay. So there was also another Twitter competition that was taking place over the last 24 hours. That seemed to be a bit of a... I was going to say a farce.
A farce?
A farce. But yeah, hopefully this one, they'll actually come good with the goods that they are going to be promoting.
Yeah, so
no grey area.
What Baby was referencing, it's in the Discord. So Fierce PC is a channel that we've actually we've given some love to in the past because they are kind of localish. I think they're based in Preston, so they're not too far from us. It's a custom PC manufacturer in the UK, and they've seemed like good people until yesterday. They posted out anyone who retweets this tweet, if England score 4 goals, will be entered in chance to win a PC. England scored 6 goals, and they deleted their tweet and said, okay, well, clearly we said if England score 4 goals, they scored 6, so the competition is null and void. So they got shitloads of followers and retweets off the back of that, deleted it.
I mean, if they didn't delete it and they just put another quote retweet out and said we specifically said 4, they might have got away with it because they didn't put the 4 or more. They just said 4. So there's no grey area with that. The proof is there. If they score 4 goals, the match did not finish with England scoring 4 goals. They scored 6.
Well, but
they doubled down.
Yeah,
with the deletion.
They went, we've deleted that tweet just to avoid any negativity. We meant it had to be exactly 4 goals, and they scored 6, so that was too many. But we'll try to be more clear in future. And then you look at the replies, and it was like, "Is this new Artesian Builds?" And then there was a clip from that Artesian Builds dickhead going like, "And that's the gotcha moment," like a weird sort of like click forward, like, "And that's it. You're not getting your prize because we don't value you enough as someone that contributes to our brand." And people were just sharing that gif in it. So they ended up deleting the clarification tweet as well as like, nothing happened. So yeah, GT Omega won't be doing that. GT Omega will honour their giveaways. As people that took part in our Royal Rumble and Gaming Nachos hide and seek spectacular at the end of it. We'll see.
All of our invitationals, the donated backpacks, giant mouse mats, all the gear. They've always looked after us.
So yeah, good people, nice. All the partners put the keys in the bowl.
Yes, please.
Where was it in the Discord? It was in the IRL football. Because
Mike got done.
You are?
Mike got done. Banter.
Oh yeah. So it was a WhatsApp screenshot. There's a lot of conversation in the IRL football, so it's easy to have been missed. But it's a WhatsApp screenshot because I sent it to Bibby at like 7 o'clock this morning, and I couldn't actually screenshot the tweet because they deleted it. But because you get a cache of it stored in WhatsApp. It had the actual text, so I copied the screenshot of the tweet, pasted that picture into WhatsApp, and Mike was like, "Oh, I want to see this tweet," and tried to click on it, but it was a picture. So
the picture was getting bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller.
The hyperlinks don't work when you're clicking on a picture. So
quality. Nice
sounds like the sort of gymnastics people did to justify what happened last year in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Happened?
Yeah, it was. That was the season ending sort of. I'm not even going to ask. I'll go try even explain what happened. But
go on, please do.
No,
please do.
Like there was lots of cars that went, and some people didn't like that. Some cars went, but other cars were going, oh, because they needed to be slow cars. But then all of the cars suddenly went, but then the one that was in the front suddenly was second.
Is this the one where the safety flag came out and then...
That's literally what I've just said.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly.
I just wanted to hear your side of things, if I'm being honest.
I mean, anyone that watches Formula 1 will know exactly what I was talking about there. I have the channel muted. Explains
outrageous.
It. Yeah, I mean, you probably muted it when there was the Glasgow-esque football banter. But we have since ended Crispo, so he doesn't post in that channel anymore. So it's
Rest in
fine.
peace.
Yes, anyway, we are here to talk about video game news.
Are we?
I think so.
Okay.
Seems like it.
Fair.
So we have 4 stories for you today, including the first one, and that is the fact that you could play video games in your car and crash and die in a burning ball of fire. It's not actually the headline. The headline is Sony and Honda could include PS5 consoles in electric cars.
David just said that the echo's just started. There is definitely something wrong.
Maybe it's because I was like yelling like a motherfucker. Okay, I'll keep going. So Sony and Honda could include PS5 consoles in their electric cars. The companies are collaborating on an entertainment-focused Tesla rival. So if you're interested in playing PS5 on the go, Sony could have your back. It's an interesting one because it's difficult to get hold of a PS5 at the moment, and it's difficult to get hold of an electric car. So the solution is to put a PS5 in an electric car. Surely that's going to make it worse? Or is that like halving the problem because you're only buying, I don't know.
Drain your battery faster, surely.
Okay.
Well, as long as it's not a PlayStation 4, because you'll be driving around the road, down the road with that screaming and also your aircon going...
Imagine it though, like all those people that had like dump valves on the car, like... It's like, quick, throw a smoke grenade in PUBG.
You can't just set some fire.
Nice. Next up, after that, we'll talk about Microsoft saying it offered Sony a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. So there was this. There still is a big old kerfuffle about PlayStation not wanting Microsoft to buy Activision because mainly Call of Duty is a system seller and will change the landscape of video games. Microsoft said, "Oh, well, we've got a couple of years deal with you. We'll probably keep the game on your console for at least the next few years." And then loosely was hinting, and probably after that, just like they were probably going to keep making all their other games from Bethesda and stuff. Anyway, PlayStation didn't like that. Activision / Xbox have now apparently offered a 10-year deal. We'll jump into that second. Then we'll talk about Saints Row having an update that features over 200 bug fixes, and then finally we'll wrap up with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet being the UK's biggest physical launch of the year.
Does that surprise you?
Yes.
And we'll come on to that later on.
Ish. Up first, though. Brum, brum. Good. Crash. Bad. Nice. Oh, no! We are an Elgato!
Why has that done that?
Was it changed over when Tommy was like...
Oh, they've been fucking about with it, haven't they? Oh, can you turn it on game frame? That is... fucking weird, mate.
Hi, how you doing? Do you know, while Baby fixed it, I fixed it nice. That's the wrong... Yeah, there we go. Sony and Honda could include PS5 consoles in their electric cars. The companies are collaborating on an entertainment-focused Tesla rival. So when Baby eventually scrolls down...
Sorry, I was just getting myself set then as well.
just get yourself comfortable.
Did you see me sailing in?
It's like Jack and Ore. Just got to be good article.
Get my fucking readers on. I just rolled up all nice and comfortable. Like.
Fold your arms and everything.
Oh God.
Oh, nice. Oh. Oh, okay, I'll turn my gain down a touch. If this is too loud, do let me know. If it's not loud enough, do let me know.
What you want? 2 bars.
I've just pushed it down to 1 now.
Okay.
So I'm pushed it down 2. I'll push it up a little bit more. But do let me know. So a new joint venture from Sony and Honda could see the pair release electric cars featuring built-in PS5 hardware. The heads of Sony Honda Mobility, which was established in September, told the Financial Times that they plan to use music, movies, and gaming, not solve the problem. To build electric cars built around a premium entertainment experience. Shall I unplug mine, replug mine, if it's only just started?
It's weird how it happens during it, innit?
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nice.
It's just fixed itself.
Maybe Tito's a problem.
Never.
Yeah, I imagine.
Problem child.
Imagine that. Sony has content services. Okay, I'll read that quote again. Quote, Sony has content, services, and entertainment technologies that move people. We are adapting these assets to mobility, and this is our strength against Tesla, said President Izumi Kawanishi. Quote, Tesla is not providing any content services, he said, adding that it was technologically possible to integrate the PS5 platform into their cars. Sony Honda Mobility intends to launch its first electric vehicle model in North America by 2025. Ultimately, the joint venture also hopes to release fully self-driving vehicles. Quote, to enjoy the space in your car, fucking pop up, get out of the way. To enjoy the space in your car, you have to make it a space where you don't need to drive, said Kawanishi. The solution for this is autonomous driving. Fucking iRobot, baby. PlayStation Black Friday sales on... Okay, nice. Black Friday sale. Basically, Sony and Honda seen Tesla making a big old buck. One thing that Sony and Tesla, nice. One thing that Sony likes to do is make a big old buck. As we found out, they are for the payers these days, not for the players. And sticking PS5 consoles, which are expensive, in electric cars, which are quite expensive, to rival Teslas, which are very expensive, is a good way to earn a lot of money really quickly. But is it a good idea? What are your thoughts, babe?
What is the operating system that the Tesla has in its car? Because I know you can play games on it, but I don't know whether or not they are like Google Stadia games or your App Store, as in like the Android App Store. Right, it's definitely not going to be your Apple.
I assume it's their... I think it's like their version of iOS. So it's not an Android-based... I could be wrong. It could be an Android-based system. I would assume it's not an Android-based system and it's their own software where they do over-the-air updates. It could be Android-based. I don't know. All I know is that I've seen Lee getting giddy about it and adding updates and stuff to his car so that he can use his car as a rave machine. So that when he presses a button, his windscreen wipers, his wing mirrors flap in and out, and every light on his car flashes a different colour whilst it plays music and the windows go up and down. So
I mean, why would you not want a Tesla if it does that?
Why,
enable rave mode.
If you can see this rave mode, there's no way you're asking what operating system it is. I'll just take 6, please. Thank you very much.
So having a PlayStation in your car is obviously pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I don't care what console it could have been. It could have been a Nintendo Switch. It could have been an Xbox. It could be anything. You could be able to play your Steam Link if you really wanted to. But having it in there is obviously great. You're not going to be able to use it while you're driving. Obviously, that's something that absolutely mustn't happen. You shouldn't be able to access it unless you are stationary and maybe the engine off, or just in eco mode or something like that. Because even if, say, me and you are driving down the road, you're driving, I'm playing on the console, that's still a huge distraction for somebody who's always easily distracted.
I'm not easily distracted. What you say?
So having something like that in your car is obviously a massive hazard at the same time, but I still think it's a pretty nifty piece of gear. Just how much is one it's going to cost? 2, you're always going to have to update it because you always have to update your PlayStation. Like the PlayStation 5 is infinitely better than the PlayStation 4 in terms of it being updating stuff offline. So when I'm not on my console, 9 times out of 10, if I have the memory available for me to be able to download an update, it'll download it for me now. Unlike the PlayStation 4, even in rest mode, it still didn't do it.
Well, if mine's in rest mode, mine will go. There's a PUBG update. There's an update to PUBG. Nobody's listening. Okay, well, I'll just sit here quietly with this update. And then when you turn it on, I'm going to start this PUBG update now. If you want it. Nice. And then you put it back into rest mode. I'll continue, don't worry. I'll update it. It's fine. And then the next time you come on, you can play it. But if you until you turn it on, it goes. No one's going to start this PUBG update. It's literally just here, boys. Yeah, I know it's there, but I've not started it yet.
But I mean, it's one way to get away from the family, isn't it? Where I'm going playing on my PlayStation, where you go in, just drive to a derelict car park and just fucking boot up your PlayStation away from everyone, just streaming in your car. That would be awesome. But yeah,
you used to do drive home streams like that, but to the next level. We'll go back to carpooling again. You can do the drive, and I'll play some PUBG on the way.
Well, yeah, it is cool. It's definitely a novelty. Unless it's the kind of cars that will end up having screens in the back, like in the back of the chair, so that the kids or whatever in the back are able to play. Like my nephews have got the clips that go on the back of the headrest for their Nintendo Switches, so when my sister's driving to a friend's like 2 hours away, the boys are in the back just playing on the Nintendo Switch on the back. That's class. I would have loved to have had that option when I was younger.
My mate had a Jaguar F-Pace, that's it, a Jaguar F-Pace. It's basically like a 4x4 Jaguar. And he was like playing a video, like a movie off his phone kind of thing, onto the central dashboard thing. Is not central reservation, that's a bit of the road, onto the central column in the car. And I'm sat there looking at the screen watching this video. And he's like, I can't see that video. And I was like, what? And then I leaned over to the side and the video changed, like from his perspective, to just be like the sat-nav. But then when you move back this way, it changes.
That is awesome.
I was like, whoa.
That is class. You see, that is the type of technology that I'm like, wow, definitely put that in cars. Like I said, even if I was to be playing the game on the little monitor thing that's in front of you, that's still super distracting for you who would be driving. Like, you're playing PUBG or something, you hear the shots going off, you're in a final turn situation, you'd want to watch it.
You're driving down the road and all of a sudden you hear a fucking McLaren piping up behind you.
So yeah, that's the technology that I can get behind. Not just for the sake of having a PlayStation in your car, it doesn't add anything.
I mean, let me jump through the comments in the chat. Is that this one? This is this one.
Yeah, that's that
nice. Pokemon gameplay in the humor and memes channel. Nice. Okay, problem. In before Tesla offers a free blue tick with every car. It'd be £8 a month actually. That on me. So will the car be obsolete when the PS6 comes out? Good point.
Not for me.
Because like you get a lot of things like that with sat navs. Like sat nav, you know that you're using like old school TomTom software. Does TomTom even exist anymore?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
West. Welcome to the stream. 50% egg, 50% shed. You know him as West. Suck my hairs. Sorry, we don't have the commands available in the studio, so you'll have to deal with the live version. You're welcome. Thank you very much, West, for 26 months.
Legend.
Love you. Yeah, so like TomTom sat nav being out of date. You know it's out of date. It's slow and it's clunky. It's a bit shit. Doesn't look quite 4K. Doesn't look HD-ish. All that sort of stuff.
All the roads are missing because they've had roadworks done over the last 3 years that aren't now updated within there.
But you kind of work it out. You'll come to a junction and you're like, oh, this junction looks pretty. It's all clearly freshly laid. And your brain's going, yeah, that means it's not going to be in your sat nav. You're going to be driving through the middle of a field for the next 30 seconds.
You're going to be in someone's front room in a minute.
But then the roads eventually merge back up and you can make it work. But a PS5, 5 years after the PS5's finished, you're just going to be like, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to sit here playing. It'd be like sitting there going, oh, in the car. Okay, sitting there. But anyone else but Bibby going, who in the car would like to play FIFA 17? Bibby would like, yeah, go on then. Nice.
Has he got PES 2?
So, yeah, it's an interesting one, but I don't know. I like the idea of Sony getting involved. I like the idea of there being a Tesla opposite, because at the moment it's fossil fuel or ridiculous expense, kind of. I know everyone else in the industry is pushing their way up. They're making your general road cars be electric versions of themselves, but no one has kind of pushed it up to that exact sort of electric. Well, they have, quite a few have, but no one's really challenging Tesla in that sort of sense. I would like to see someone coming in there. I'm not sure about it being PlayStation, and I'm not sure. Oh, there's a PS5 built in this car. Oh, nice. How much is the car? £65,000. I don't think that's enough. All right, I mean,
I know, yeah. Fucking hell. This shit. Oh.
It can't be Windows-based. It would crash all the time. If it was iOS, the cars would have no windows. Every time you open a window, you hear the dun, dun, dong. Dun dun dun. Is that what Windows 10 does? Don't tell Bibby about fake taxi or bang bus. Imagine how distracted those drivers are. Tesla's used a proprietary version of a Linux branch. I think it's Ubuntu, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I thought that as well. Same.
He's a proper nerd, isn't he? Like, he can't wait for the next Linus Tech Tips video to come out.
David watches a lot.
I know, I can imagine. To be fair, so do I.
Yeah, there's laws in the UK preventing screens you can see. Not sure what US laws are. I think it's the same thing. I remember seeing a video of, and it was like, it might have been Canada. I think it was a Canadian dude, a Canadian police officer, pulls up some dude in a Tesla, and if you haven't seen a Tesla dashboard, they look like there's an iPad stuck on it, like on a phone mount kind of thing. And this cop pulls over this guy and is like, you can't have screens mounted to your dashboard that you can see. And this guy's going, okay, but this is part of my dashboard. He's like, what? He's like, it's not an aftermarket part. He's like, no, it's literally part of it. It's like when my sat nav and everything. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Well, I hope you have a nice day. It just lets it go on his way.
I don't think I've ever seen inside of a Tesla, you know, even though Lee's got one. I don't think I've ever seen.
Oh,
like,
I think he's gone now.
Yeah, he has. He got left before.
But it looks like literally if you took an iPad and you stuck it on like one of those like magnetic clip things and just stuck it on the dashboard, it looks like that kind of thing.
Like Mark's got is it the
Ionic 5?
Ionic, yeah. I always want to say it's Iconic, but it's not. Ionic 5, yeah. That looks a fucking well nice car as well.
Yeah. There's PS5 Hondas. Imagine the scalpers. I know, but the thing is though, scalpers are in it for a quick buck. When you've got to spend 65 grand in the first instance,
that's not going to be a Facebook Marketplace, is it?
Reclines, pisses kids off. Dad. Yeah, Land Rovers have had those screens for a while. I think. I mean, all right, Tito, someone's doing all right. Okay.
I know. Yeah, he's got two of them.
God.
You know?
All right, legends. All right, Tweakle, how you doing, love? So in future, if you come across a car parked in the middle of nowhere with steamed up windows, rocking from side to side with a load of grunting and other noises coming from inside it will be some kid gaming.
It's playing PlayStation VR.
It'll change dogging. There you go. Yeah, exactly. US laws can't have a screen, but required to have 4 guns in easy reach. Nice. Can you trade them in at CEX? Easy dubs. I was going to say something. Oh yeah. I've linked you on Slack a video where PlayStation and Honda may have a partnership where you can get PlayStations in your car. But I want to cast your attention back to 2002 when...
Okay.
I mean, I can't play it on my screen. Unless you're open. Yeah, okay. So I want to cast your attention back to 2002 when, if you watch Fast and Furious, someone is playing Gran Turismo in their car waiting for a quarter-mile race. So...
I mean, we had this discussion this morning about Chameleonaire riding dirty, and the only thing that he's doing dirty is himself, because he mentions something about having a PlayStation controller, but it's an Xbox One.
It's like, no, mate.
I lost all respect for him that day.
PUBG streamer, plays on PC, called Halifax. His parents, he always goes on about his parents called any gaming console a Nintendo. I've got you a Nintendo. And it's like, no, it's actually a Sega Mega Drive, or it's a PlayStation, or it's a whatever. So yeah, there we go. Bibby's stream. So PlayStations are now available in Hondas. Oh, big whoop. So as we can see from this video, back from about 2002, I don't actually know if that's the Fast and Furious was released. I'm going to assume it was something like that. But 2000, look, there we go. Yeah! Bit of Gran Turismo.
He's fucking shit.
Absolutely. Imagine like giving it the whole head movement, and the bit they show you is the bit where you crash into a wall. You'd be like, literally, I've just handbrake turned my way around an entire corner, and you've showed me crashing into a wall. Nice one, mate. So yeah, there you go. I will put some things in Discord later on. If Stick Death is still active.
Oh, Stick Death was amazing.
Stickdeath.com.
Ooh. Yeah, that was so good.
I remember like they had like an episodic Matrix, like it was like once a month or whatever. They'd had a new video. Fucking amazing. Ooh,
I don't think Stick Death's on a lot.
I was going to say, if you haven't, check out Stick Death. There'll be YouTube videos.
Yeah, there were Flash games, weren't there?
Flash games and Flash videos.
Yeah, so Flash doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Kind of. There's like a lot of like
closed down.
Internet like library people that have made like things that make it work kind of thing.
Right.
But
yeah, if Miniclip's gone, then Stick Death 100% will be.
DC8P, the website with no name. Weird ass games. Anyway, that's enough of that. We'll jump into our next story, which is heavily sponsored by War Thunder, which you can play for. We're not in any affiliation with War Thunder. They've just well taken over. Eurogamer, so fair play to him. Anyway, our next story says Microsoft says it offered Sony a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation and accuses it of misleading regulators. This is written by Matt Wales at Eurogamer, and the story says, as intense government scrutiny of Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard continues, with many regulatory bodies placing particular importance on the future of Call of Duty franchise. Microsoft has told the New York Times it offered Sony a 10-year deal to keep the series on the PlayStation earlier this month. In total, 16 regulatory bodies around the world have launched investigations into Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard to assess its likely impact on competition. So far, only Brazil and Saudi Arabia have approved the deal, with a number of territories, including the European Commission and the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, having announced more in-depth reviews of the matter. In both those cases, Call of Duty's future has been highlighted as a particular concern, with regulators fearing the Juggernaut franchise may be leveraged by Microsoft to gain an unfair advantage over its competition. As it attempts to, to assuage those concerns, as it attempts to sausage those concerns, Microsoft has been increasing forthright in discussing its willingness to keep, this has been written by like absolute Atari, let's put it that way. Posh words, instantly you're Atari, that's it. Yeah, I'm Northern, get over it. So as it attempts to assuage those concerns, Microsoft has been increasing forthright in discussing its willingness to keep Call of Duty on Sony's platform. Reports in September revealed the company had initially pledged to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation 4, quote, at least several more years beyond Activision's existing deal, an arrangement PlayStation boss Jim Ryan would go on to call, quote, inadequate on many levels, end quote. In October, Xbox boss, Phil Spencer, I'd slow down for it then though, could you tell?
I was trying not to. You caught me off guard then, big time. I was trying to hold in that yawn. I just fucked that right up. I was like,
who's that?
I'm not yawning.
It's the I'm not yawning face.
Caught me red-handed. Cheers, Graham. Baby's crying. I'm going to yawn in my jumper next time.
I asked the question at just the wrong time.
You cannot see if I am now yawning.
Oh. You just looked at me with your face paralysed. You just like...
The I'm not yawning face.
Yeah. I'm not yawning whilst I yawn face.
Smile next time.
I don't even remember what I'd asked. Oh, it was Xbox boss, wasn't it? I nailed it that time.
Tired, man.
Oh.
What the fuck is going on? I am only listening. You don't have to partake.
I was asking Bibby for his input, but do you know when you yawn and you go like, oh, and rather than going, oh, look, everyone, here's my tonsils and teeth. Bibby did that sort of like, well, you close your mouth to try and hold the yawn in just as I'd asked him a question, and I realised that as I hit the last syllable of my question, so I'd already asked it at that point, that Bibby just
I was committed to the yawn by that point.
Yeah, so he turned he was like trying to choke down this yawn, but he looked at me. Oh, yeah, you get the idea. So
it's difficult, man. And the camera's always like, when we're at home and stuff, I can afford to mute the mic, yawn my fucking head off.
I know, I see it.
Yeah. Yawn my head off, but hey, fucking everyone can see everything.
So yeah, there you go, professional. I mean, do you know what? You were professional then. You were trying to choke it down, and then someone just threw you under the bus. So yeah, nice. Anyway, back in the news. In October, Xbox boss Phil Spencer publicly pledged to continue releasing Call of Duty games on Sony's consoles for as long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship to. But now, talking to the New York Times, Microsoft has revealed the terms of its latest offer to Sony in more specific detail, saying that on the 11th of November, it proposed a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony did not respond to the publication's request for comment. Okay, we can leave it there. Basically, Sony doesn't like it. Xbox says they're being fair. They're trying to do whatever. Nice.
Yeah, it's literally just all playground stuff at the moment, and I'm getting to the point with this now where I am severely unaffected by this. Again, I'm very privileged at the fact that I have both consoles. I can play them on whatever I need to be. If it's on Game Pass later down the line, fantastic. It'll save us some money. But in terms of what this is going to be happening, it literally is all he said, she said, he said, she fish you. Yeah, it's all of that stuff. It's you don't know what's true and what's not. Obviously, when it comes to journalism, there is always one side in favour, and that's usually the side that the person's writing from, whether or not they are a Sony fanboy, an Xbox fanboy. It's very, I find it very difficult nowadays. VGC is probably the only one where I think that they're kind of impartial when it comes to stuff. They try to report the facts. I'm not saying that Eurogamer don't do that or anyone that works over there. I'm not saying that at all.
He's absolutely calling you out, Matt Wales.
Yeah, sorry,
just
Matt.
saying.
Sorry, Matt. But it's very difficult to be able to report on something that you genuinely don't really know anything about. You're just taking you're picking up the pieces of what other people have put out there and what Phil Spencer is talking about. It's difficult to be able to put a story together like that because I don't even think PlayStation and Xbox know the insides of these themselves. The repercussions that this may end up having, they're not asked about, apart from obviously PlayStation will end up losing the not necessarily the exclusive license of it, but the fact that they may not having a game like Call of Duty on their platform, which would be detrimental to their platform. It doesn't matter what side you're on when it comes to that stuff. With a game that's a blockbuster game like that is a console seller, there is no way that you can't think that wouldn't be.
The thing is as well, over the last 5 years or so, you could be forgiven for thinking how big of an impact Call of Duty can have because we were off the arse end of the Infinite Advanced Warfare, most disliked video in YouTube history and all that sort of shit. And then we got some more Black Ops and Vanguard. And yeah, there was some good signs in Modern Warfare in there. And Warzone started to change things and so on. Yeah. But Modern Warfare 2, where we are right now, shows you just how much of an impact.
Oh yeah, they're on the massive trajectory at the moment. They are riding this
wave. Warzone 2, not perfect, only just come out, but has its entire life in front of it. And the last one lasted 3 years off the back of 1 year of practicing in Blackout, and they absolutely smashed it. So Warzone being free to play, Call of Duty being an annual release, multiple studios, multiple celebrity endorsements, so it's in the realm of like Beyonce level sort of stuff. You've got some singers that are good and people like, but then you've got Beyonce who will just always be great, kind of thing. Yeah. Call of Duty is like a Beyonce of video games, kind of thing.
When you've got someone like Neymar and Messi that are going to be in your video game as they're not called cleaners, operators. Is cleaners on Battlefield?
It might be Back for Blood, was it?
But it's Back for Blood. Yeah, you're right.
I remember reading it going, cleaners? What the fuck?
Back for Blood. But like Viv's just said there, so Microsoft should threaten to buy Battlefield and push it onto PlayStation as a threat. Like that's albeit that is extremely funny. Call of Duty are genuinely at this moment in time. They're unchallenged at the top. Like there isn't Battlefield. It was always the rivalry between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Like the console wars, you was either one or the other. It was very difficult to be able to play both of them. I always was Team Battlefield. I still think Battlefield 2042 is a great game. You guys will be able to play it for yourselves soon because it's coming out on Game Pass. I mean, that's a testament to how much it's fallen off.
Shroud is a testament for Battlefield, though, in the fact that he's played a bunch of Call of Duty, played a lot of Warzone 2 the other day, and literally I turned on his stream and he's like, people in his chat are like, why are you playing this? And he's like, do you know what, that's that realization, we're sat here, no, someone was like, why is everyone quiet? And that's it. And he's like, do you know what, that's the realization, we're all quiet. I'm in a stream with like Binans, who's Shroud's partner, then there was 2 other streamers in there, they were all streaming and they were just silence in the party, kind of thing. It's like, because I've just been going through the motions in this game, which that's not me slating COD, but for him, he was like, I actually want to go and play Battlefield. And then for the next 2 days after that, yesterday and the day before, he was streaming Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, honestly, like I know a lot of people disregarded it, which I did, we did, everybody else did when Battlefield first came out, because it just wasn't up to par. It was a shallow experience, it was hollow, there was nothing to do with it. It was terrible, they didn't even have leaderboards. How fucking you have a Battlefield game without having a leaderboard? But now it's a completely different game, and it's one that I will recommend. It was one that obviously I haven't played it for like 3 or 4 weeks because there's a million other games that have come out, so I've been taking my time to get to play those. Obviously, Game of the Year is coming up very very, very soon. So I want to be able to throw my hat into the ring with as many games as possible to say, I played that. I know. Not today.
I can throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah.
You throw my
I've thrown Graham's hat in the ring. So I'm trying to get
with
through.
full on hat hair.
I'm trying to get through as many games as possible to be able to put a good old dog in the fight. So, yeah, I mean, Battlefield is a great game. You'll be able to find that out yourselves. If you've got Game Pass, be able to download it and give it a go yourself. But for what it is, Call of Duty is the juggernaut that keeps on going. Like, there is no one that at this moment in time. Halo came out, tried, failed miserably, and it's still a miserable existence at this moment in time for Halo fans. Battlefield tried, failed dramatically. The trajectory has started to come back up. Game did a fantastic offer for £5 for the PlayStation 5 version, which was an incredible deal, definitely worth your money. But still, they're not. They're just jabbing at this moment in time. There's no haymakers, there's no uppercuts, there's nothing. There's no power in any of the punches that they're able to put out there. But Call of Duty is at this moment in time the biggest first-person shooter in the world, and I can't see it being challenged.
Yeah, I agree. I think the multi-studio, like having a studio like Sledgehammer, having the support of Raven Games, having Activision, having Treyarch, having any one of those studios is bigger than most studios in the world. But having 4 of those, being able to call for, do you know what, this year you can do it, is ridiculous. So I do believe it is an unfair advantage. It's never been a problem because it was an external issue, but now it belongs to one party. It is getting into the realms of monopolism. I do believe that. Let me jump through the comments to catch up. 2001 for the first fast film. Nice, that was close. Speaking of Gran Turismo, I would have thought Sony would have paired with Nissan, given the affinity between GT and Nissan. Isn't Nissan the one that spoke out like during Gamescom when we were there, like 2019 kind of thing? They spoke out. There was like Need for Speed Heat or something like that, and there wasn't any Nissan cars or something.
Yes.
And someone tweeted Nissan saying, why is there no Nissan cars in Need for Speed Heat? And they were like, we believe in safe driving. We don't believe in blah, 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 blah. And everyone was like, just while you're saying that, here's the entire history of racing video games that you've appeared in, plus all the Fast and Furious films that you've appeared in. And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
that's a gotcha moment.
Yeah, so they had to kind of backtrack and go, sorry, we didn't want to say that we're not proud of our history and we would love to be in video games in the future and stuff. Someone clearly some social dude thought they had the answer and just got slapped. Yeah. So that's probably why Nissan, for some reason, don't acknowledge video racing games anymore. Can we just consider how much weight is put in COD? Anything they say can make or break this shit? What? Tito did have a comment. Oh, there we go. Tito's comment. The only people complaining are Sony. Developers don't seem to be worried. I mean, when you say developers, which developers do you mean? Because developers, it doesn't change anything for them.
Yeah,
such.
They're still working on it, and they might not have to put PlayStation code in there anymore. But ultimately, that's not really what they're going to be looking after. They just want to make sure that they're making a decent enough game, regardless of what platform it's on.
Because you'll have Sony's developers. It's like, okay, well, we've got to compete against Call of Duty. But that's kind of where we have been already, which someone, I can't remember whose comment it was, someone made a comment saying, you'll notice that Sony doesn't have an FPS because Call of Duty satisfied the itch. There was no competing against Call of Duty, so Sony got rid of their resistances and all that stuff.
Yeah, Killzone.
Because there was no competing against it. So Sony doesn't have any developers that could be affected in that sort of sense because their developers have all gone, so it's just the customer base that would be affected. So I do believe it's a very big potential issue. Do I see an issue with Microsoft owning Call of Duty? No. Do I see an issue with Microsoft owning Call of Duty if it's shared across the platforms? No. Do I see an issue with Microsoft owning Call of Duty, though, if in 10 years' time they go, oh, if you want to extend this license, it's £1 bajillion a second? And you're going to get it 6 months later. I do see that because the issues there is that's when you do have a monopolistic control over. I know it isn't the only FPS. We've already been speaking about Battlefield, and there's a bunch of other ones out there. But in terms of market share, and you can probably, apart from key points of the year when you get a Battlefield launch, it's actually shit, and it's gone again. Apart from that 2-week period, there'll be very few things that get to the heights that Call of Duty does, and especially when if you could probably do that in concurrent viewers, minutes watched, unique viewers, all that sort of stuff. I bet Call of Duty absolutely smashes it. And then metrics that lead to console sales, in-app purchases, all that sort of, I do believe that being held in the control of one first party is potentially negative. I don't have a problem with Microsoft owning it, but as we saw with the Bethesda stuff, Microsoft, we're gonna keep it and share it around everyone, honest. But then there were so many people that said, and we shared it, and Enix, I think, was one of them, if you're spending $7 billion or whatever it was at that point in time, you're gonna want to make some drastic changes to get your profit back.
100%. So they want the Elder Scrolls to be your console sell. They want my custom. They want, okay, so you've got Elder Scrolls 6 coming out only on Xbox, no problems. Bibby's always ends up buying it at a PlayStation, but he wants at the very back of his mind to go, do I really want the PlayStation 6 or do I really want to be able to play this on a new Xbox?
Yeah.
That's the want the middle ground. They don't want the hardcore, they want the middle ground because that is where most people are. There's hardcore on both sides. There will always be fanboys on both sides, but it's the, what do they call them? The general consumers that they want their money. They don't want the hardcore ones because the hardcore is probably 2-3% of the casual users. Yeah, the hardcore with the 3%. You're gonna get their custom regardless. They want the remaining share that's available. They want the general consumers to be able to come in and go, okay, I've got a decision to make here.
There was another good quote, and I can't remember who this one was by. This one was by someone. It might be Jim Ryan, and if it's not Jim Ryan, it's from another journalist that was commenting on it. And it was quite a good quote because I didn't even consider it because I'm thinking of this is not Jim Ryan, Phil Spencer at Xbox. Yes, the Bethesda thing about changing. Like, oh, we're going to make games for PlayStations, and apart from all the new stuff, I mean, anything that's old can stay there, but anything that's new, which is everything they're ever going to release ever again, moves on to, whatever, that'll just be Xbox. But aside from that bit, Xbox and Phil Spencer, in my brain, are kind of pro-consumer. But then someone's comment was like, don't forget, though, at $69 billion, it's not just an Xbox decision, it's a Microsoft decision. And Microsoft is one of the most cutthroat corporate, kill every member of the opposition businesses that's ever existed. Oh, you're creating Flash? We'll create Silverlight to kill Flash. You've got all these cool, like, Real Player? We'll upgrade Windows Media Player to kill off Real Player. And they just, if they can't buy your company, they'll strangle it.
Yeah, it's the Vince McMahon route.
Exactly. And it's business. It's business. But that's the thing. Like, it's fine when I completely accept that it's business. The issue is, though, is wrestling hasn't necessarily been the greatest over the last 20 years. Now there's no competition kind of thing. In my opinion, others I can happily disagree because they'll be probably more educated. For me, wrestling was better when there was multiple top-level televised platforms. And get rid of the competition, you get a good period of success, and then it's, we're not being challenged anymore. Where's the competition? And then you have to wait for the competition to come in to start to push everything back up from the bottom.
I agree. It's a difficult... as annoying as it is, it will be super hypocritical for us, I say us as in the general gaming landscape, to be saying, okay, well, they shouldn't only have those games on that platform. Like, having first-party exclusives is fantastic. They are console sellers. It's only when the third parties end up getting bought out that's when the grey line starts to come in with me. When you're buying someone like Bethesda, you're buying someone like Activision Blizzard, they're not first-party. They're not first-party companies. You are inheriting them as your first-party company to then only have them as exclusives, but eventually the whole gaming landscape will just end up getting cannibalized. Like, I understand, but places like Naughty Dog have ended up getting incorporated through
Insomniac and so on. Like someone.
That's why I can't be hypocritical with
and
it.
PlayStation keeps Spider-Man. So PlayStation get Battlefield, Xbox get COD. Simple. Like, there's that sort of kind of jokey stuff in there. But like Spider-Man, I'd much rather it be available to anyone on any platform, but it only existed because PlayStation were investing at a time when the brand wasn't strong in video games. It was dead. But the brand has now been evolved in video games, probably partially because of good timing with the MCU and all that sort of stuff. So
that's where I feel like Spider-Man has always been decent. But the fact that obviously Sony ended up having to buy them from Marvel to save Marvel in the first place, like Blade was probably the one that ended up putting Marvel back on the map in terms of on-screen stuff. Yeah, I'm not talking about comics or anything like that, though. Obviously, the comic boys will end up coming for me. But in terms of the silver screen, Blade was the guy that kind of brought the Marvel. It's most certainly to me, anyway.
Frost.
Yeah, most certainly to me. And then obviously Sony ended up buying Spider-Man to Can you go as far as saying end up saving the MCU as it stands? I mean, Blade was never really part of it. It amazes me that we've never seen a rejuvenation of Blade in some capacity.
I mean, we will be doing it. It's in the next phases for
the TV shows, though, right?
Yeah,
not for films.
I can't remember. I think maybe, but you've got to feel with the way that MCU is, everything's bleeding over TV and film. I wouldn't be surprised if they go, shit, we've got no Avengers because they're all old and or dead.
Yeah,
so Blade will. I mean, Blade's a vampire, so yeah, he does age.
We've seen Deadpool and Wolverine coming back together and stuff like that. Like, I understand Sony ended up buying that and having that as their own to help save the MCU, and obviously it wasn't the MCU back then, but to give them a kick up the arse, give them a lot of money to be able to do whatever they need to do with, and then that's pretty much paid them back 1,001%. But obviously, the Marvel have had to pay Sony to be able to include Spider-Man back over into their films again.
But in terms of video games, like Insomniac making that Spider-Man game, like JMK said, PlayStation keeps Spider-Man. So in terms of that, I think PlayStation should keep Spider-Man because PlayStation made that game. It wasn't made by Insomniac as an external studio. PlayStation, who owned Insomniac at that point in time, brokered a deal to make a game that was successful. Because PlayStation has had a success doesn't mean that you can pass that on to someone else. Just in the same way that if Halo Infinite would have been great after launch, it doesn't mean that you should be able to play that on PlayStation either. That should stay on Xbox. The difference is Halo is a brand made by Xbox's teams. Spider-Man is a brand made by Marvel. But if Xbox went and made a Thor game, and that was just on Xbox, and it was phenomenal. Or Xbox made the Superman game that everyone wants to see. They get the rights off it, or they work with Warner Brothers to build it on just Xbox. That shouldn't be, oh, well, it's coming on PlayStation, because they've made that game.
Yeah.
If there is a series of games, like a Call of Duty, that sits across all platforms, like we've said in the past, like when the Bethesda takeover, that's different then, because you are pushing something that is cross-market and is now convergent because of cross-play, cross-progression. Your currencies from your PlayStation will work on your PC version, all that sort of stuff. But now only there's benefits to Xbox and stuff. That's where it starts to get like the waters are muddied.
It's difficult. Like, especially, like, I keep on going back to Elder Scrolls, but it's the one thing that I have that I know about more than anything. But when it came to the old Elder Scrolls games, they were PC and the original Xbox. They were exclusives at the time. Like, PlayStation didn't have a sniff at it. But then obviously when Skyrim ends up coming out and Oblivion, it changed the landscape, because for the first time on a PlayStation console, you're able to play the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Like, we never had that before. Completely different market that I'd been open to. And I'd probably say, I think, without having to look at it myself, I reckon overall it probably sold better on PlayStation, Skyrim and Oblivion. Well, look at the install base.
The better people, yeah, like just better quality human beings.
If there's a bigger install base out there, what's the likelihood?
You might sell a couple more quid. Oh, imagine. You
might end up selling more games. So that's the one thing that I still can't wrap my head around. If these games were to only become exclusive to Xbox, because your install base is not even half. It's like a quarter of what PlayStation 4 and 5s that are out there compared to Series X, S, the original Xbox One consoles. Like they don't even.
See, if they say like they've offered a 10-year deal to PlayStation and it comes out day and date on both consoles, but it's free on Game Pass, a lot of people dislike that as well, because that's a commercial thing. But I'm thinking, whatever. If PlayStation were that bothered, exactly. If PlayStation were that bothered, they could make it free as part of their thing as well, or whatever. Microsoft probably wouldn't like that. But there's still options there, so I'm not bothered about that. If it was there day and date, and it's fine. If there was a couple of pre-order skins that were exclusive on Xbox, oh well, PlayStation have had pre-order exclusives on special missions or whatever they're called. Deal with it, get over it. The issue for me is, if we get to 10 years, can we trust in Microsoft as a company to go, okay, our terms were 100% last time. We want 350% this time. Like, can we trust in them to not do that? And that is where my worry comes into it. I don't have an issue with Xbox owning the brand as long as it's open and shared, because we've seen that games can work across platform like that. Not really first party owned. Yeah. That's never happened before. Not on that scale. Well, nothing's happened on that scale, but anywhere near that scale. But I'm not convinced. And if anyone tells me that I'm convinced that Microsoft will share it, I'll be like, well, why? Yeah. Why? What gives you that much belief? Because I don't. If we got 10 years down the line and it was just shared again, oh, fine, whatever. I mean, if you want the exclusive skins, you get it on your Xbox or whatever.
Yeah. But best case scenario is for Xbox to have it, but then license it out to other platforms because they will get the majority share every time you play. Every time you want to buy Call of Duty on a PlayStation, say it's 70 quid, Xbox can go, okay, well, we'll take 25, 30% of that. It's 25 or 30% of that is better than nothing at all.
Yeah, 25, 30% plus 25, 30% of every in-game transaction.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
So then they've got the install base of what Sony have out there at this moment in time, as well as an nearly infinite amount of money that's coming through your door. That is the best case scenario. But I feel like what they want to do is be able to push their unit sales of their consoles. I think that is way more important to them than selling that game in any other console, because they have.
I think it's probably not even unit sales. I think it's partially unit sales, but it's Game Pass, isn't it? That's their. So it's a case
especially
of
with the stick, the streaming stick that's meant to be coming out. That's meant to be 100 quid.
So
fantastic peripheral.
Your gateway drug is okay. You can buy it on PlayStation, but you can we'll take 20%, 30%. And all your in-game purchases will take 20, 30%. You start to get into the Fortnite situation where they're going, oh, well, it'll cost you $6.99 for your COD points on the PlayStation. It'll cost you $5.99 if you buy them through the website.
Yeah.
And then eventually it'll be like, do you know, you can play it through the website as well. You can buy it and play it through the website using your Game Pass account. You don't even have to spend 70 quid on the game. You only have to spend $7.99 a month for 10 months. That's pretty much the same price over the course of the year. Plus, you get all these other thousands of games as well, which then slowly bleeds it away. I mean,
it becomes a very easy sell for Game Pass, though, doesn't it? Imagine, I think it's 11 quid now for Game Pass normal. That's what I'm paying for Ultimate via my PC. It becomes an even better sell when you have games like that coming on there, because they can bump the price up to £14, no problems.
And that's the thing, I don't mind that. And I imagine a lot of other people don't mind that. Like, if Game Pass is the proposition that takes people over, it is what it is. But that is where the argument is the fact that is such a strong deal that it will take people over. Like,
Netflix did. Netflix has become one of the biggest companies in the world when it came to delivering video content.
Killed Blockbuster because Blockbuster didn't have a counter to it, and that's where PlayStation are going. Yeah, this might kill us because I'm not sure we've got a counter to this. And that's where I'm thinking. Well, that's just business. You've just been smashing it for the last 10 years.
You got to evolve, man.
And there's lots of other people that have much more nuanced understanding of this that are going, no, even the fact that it's free on Game Pass is a negative. I mean, for me, I like the idea of Game Pass, and I will be a Game Pass user.
Dead right.
In 8, 9 days, I'll be a Game Pass user.
We are not the boffins that have to deal with those kind of consequences and repercussions. We are the consumer where we see a fantastic deal and we go, do you know what? That is outstanding. Like, we do not have this conversation when we're in a supermarket and they've done a rollback on whatever it is that you wanted to buy. If you say it was £100 and it's been knocked down to £50, you're like, we're not asked how that's happened. Yeah. We're asked about what we end up paying.
It's like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not the current one. The last one is a great example. You look at game website, $47.99 it was, or something like that. You look at all these other websites, $47.99. Sainsbury's, $19.99, as long as you buy one other thing in store. I went and got 2 litres of Fanta Fruit Twist and myself a copy of Call of Duty for half the price it would cost me going to game. I mean, did I give a shit? What was I worried about? Oh, the competition.
Yeah,
Game could be, I mean, Game needs to fucking get me these $19.99 deals because I fucking use you.
That's it. That's what things like Hot UK Deals is around for, because people will go to these shops and go, okay, I've just ended up buying a monitor that's usually 300 quid, but they're selling it for 120 at this moment in time. They tell everybody else goes and buys it. Like, we're only asked about what we end up paying because ultimately it's the money that's coming out of our pocket. There's much more smarter people, or not smarter people in some cases, that are having these discussions on how they can try and invest over a longer amount of time for me to, is it worth £70 now, or is it worth £11 a month for the next potential 2 years? Yeah. Because they keep on putting banger after banger on Game Pass. Like,
that's it. Like £70 now or £11 a month. So, you know, in 9 months, you could get Game Pass for 9 months. The chances are you're probably going to finish playing Call of Duty in 9 months' time. So you could get Game Pass for 9 months and be about the same, cost-wise. But you've also got thousands of other games. And all it takes is one other game to come out, and you've made your money's worth. And then some. Yeah. So then you go, okay, well, I'll just stick in this fucking ecosystem because it's an absolute bargain. And there's a new Call of Duty coming out in 3 months after that 9 months. So
that's why cinemas were dying. Cinemas were dying because they was charging £17 to go and watch one film, whereas Netflix, I understand the films aren't always brand new that end up coming out there. They're usually like 18 months after the fact, but they make their own stuff on there that goes on the very same day. Like, why the fuck would I want to go to the cinema and pay £17 to go and watch something right there and then?
Yeah, £17 for that one thing, whereas I can spend £17 and I've got access to Netflix for a couple of months. Oh, it's five quid now or whatever for a month for the ad version. I don't know, whatever. So I can get a few months of it, and I get films now that have Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, fucking whatever as lead stars. They're not all bangers. Some of them are shit, but some of them are pretty decent stuff. So, and then you get once a year, you'll get your Stranger Things kind of level.
Yeah, Apple Plus with your Ted Lassos and the morning show and stuff like that. Like subscription models, I genuinely think are the future, but also a product of self-destruction. Because everything else around it, you're looking at value for money. You're looking at value for money of a fast pass going to Disney, knowing full well if you spend £30, you can save yourself potentially 6 hours of queuing. Or you're buying yourself a streaming service where you're able to watch 400 things rather than the one thing that you end up watching. Like it's self-destruct because you might not end up selling as many units as you want at an absolute top whack. But again, much more smarter people are having this conversation.
A massive thank you to Gamers Apparel for putting up one of our SU jerseys as a raffle prize for the PUBG Royal Rumble for your chance to win. Just type !Destined in chat, Tito. !Destined.
Well played.
Nice. I'm surprised that hasn't popped up before. Maybe it has, maybe we've just not noticed. Cleaners, Ella Love, come here to vacuum the hole. That's the Division, baby. Oh, well, they call the cleaners in Division as well. Cleaners with the napalm dudes. Okay, I'm waiting for his Spider-Man's comment. It wasn't my Spider-Man comment. It was JMK's. But still, you know it's right. Marshala Ali is doing the next Blade film next year, isn't he? Is it next year? Because I know it got delayed. Did it get delayed from this year to next year, or did it get delayed from next year to the year after? I think
18 months away.
Yeah. So I think it was supposed to be next year, but it did get a big old delay.
I remember him saying something like they haven't finished the script yet.
There's all sorts of other stuff as well, though. Like every title in the phase in the MCU got pushed back as well. Can't remember what it was. Something was late, which basically meant that they usually have like 3 months apart. So what were you looking at?
I was looking at the I've just seen that there's 2 clips in there, but then obviously we had them in the chat as well, so I'll look at them in a bit.
So usually you'll get something in June, and then you'll get something in November, kind of thing, or whatever. But the June one is delayed, so that pushed that one back, and then everything's just.
It just has a massive knock-on effect, doesn't it, when they all intertwining?
That's the downside of having the MCU, an interconnected universe. I'm gonna put ours out now. Oh no, you're not, because we need to have said that bit in his bit first before we can do our bit. Okay, but what about ours? Yeah, we need the bit in his, which follows his, to be done. Oh fuck. Ugh. He is, but I think it's not until 2024, unless it's been changed to a TV series and I missed it. He is, and it's a film. It's out September 2024. There you go. I'm convinced. I trust Uncle Bill. I mean, is Bill Gates even with it? Is he part of it anymore? Because I never know, because you always see these stories about Bill Gates being massive philanthropist and he's given billions away. He's given his entire fortune away. His kids wanted it and he was going to charity and stuff. But then the next thing I'll see is still involved in Microsoft. And I'm thinking, I don't actually care or know anymore. It's like a... What's the Amazon dude called? Bezos, Jeff Bezos kind of thing. It's like that sort of thing. He's not part of Amazon, but you know, he's only worth bajillions. It's,
if he was worth that much, genuinely, I don't think I'd just be on my yacht in the middle of nowhere, no one bothering me. It'd be great that you've earned your billions.
You'd buy it like a big yacht. No, a bunch of big yachts, and you'd sit on your little yacht, and then you'd have like a wall of big yachts around your little yacht.
Yeah, because you want to be in the little yacht looking at all your big yachts, wouldn't you? You don't
Plus,
want to be
the big yachts can be like the walls. There's no point being like on the tall yacht that people can see over.
Shadows. I mean, to be fair, it'd be great for me because I end up getting bored.
Depends on how big the yachts are, because if you can make a big yacht miles away.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Fucking Jeff Bezos. If you want to speak to us about the yacht base, got you. Nice. Are you backtracking on a giveaway? Right, time to go to Twitter. No.
Don't quote us on that.
Do you know what? The fun thing is, we haven't actually given that away. That's a good point. We actually haven't given that jersey away. We have, in the fact that it's gone to
print.
I'm trying to think. Oh, no, who was it?
Beans, ads, and I can't remember the third person.
It was the third person. Whoever it was, we've ordered it, but we're basically back and forth with Games Apparel trying to get it sorted. So it has been given.
Of Beans.
No, Beans did actually win one. That was in the subathon. And then he won another one, which then got given to ads. But I can't remember the name of the person that won.
I feel really bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna look. Whispers. Not that one. Salty Dog won the headset. Mystico. There we go.
Hey.
Mystico won it. So yeah, but hasn't actually had it yet. So Mystico just hasn't even reached out.
Well, ours are in there as well, aren't they? Ours are in there as well.
Yeah, so we've got the new jerseys that doesn't have Corsair in them because we're now sponsored by Astro. So we've got the new Astro jerseys. And someone will... So Tito, you don't want it because you'll never get it, basically. No, he's nothing to do with him now, I don't think. Certainly not in terms of decision-making. He's retired, but still has an income from Microsoft. Nice. Exclamation mark, Destin. Exclamation mark, Destin. No, don't do it. Anyway, we are going to wrap it up there. We do have 2 other stories. We have a Saints Row story, which is a bit sad for Saints Row, because we had a Saints Row story a few weeks ago, which never actually got to cover because we rolled it and it disappeared. But there is a Saints Row update featuring over 200 bug fixes. Plus, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the biggest UK physical launch of the year. 2 big old stories that we just don't have time for because we've spent so long speaking about Microsoft and its 10-year deal offer to PlayStation, and Sony and Honda getting into, I want to say bed, but into the back seat.
Getting into it.
Getting into the back seat. Play some games, obviously, none of that stuff. So because we spent so long talking about those, we don't have time to talk about the other stories because we're going to wrap things up now. Nice. I'm going to burp.
Nice. Burp!
Nice. So we are done for today. We appreciate everyone that has joined us in the stream. Viv, Tito, JMK, David, Lake, who's gone for burgers. Enjoy the burgers, Lake. Give us the details. We expect pictures in the Discord if you're still listening to this, Lake. Pictures or we riot. And everyone else that has been in the stream over the course of the day, we appreciate you dropping in. West for the 26-month sub. You beautiful men. Do feel free to join us again tomorrow, 10 a.m.-ish. Tomorrow is a Wednesday, so I will be streaming in the evening. I don't believe I'm joined by Goffman either. I believe Nietzsche has fallen out with Lotus and doesn't like him.
So it's been a long time coming.
So, yeah, or he said he's just not available. I mean, I'm going to believe that he has fallen out with him and there is actual beef there.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, yeah, do join us tomorrow, 10 a.m.-ish for some scoopage. Tomorrow evening for some PUBG. But before any of that happens, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
Yes, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for today's episode of The Scoop. We very much appreciate it. But if you want to help shape the remaining 3 shows, it's Tuesday today, right?
Yes.
Okay. Remaining 3 shows this week.
As
there
if
is
you didn't
2
know
ways.
that, and as if I didn't just check it just before I said it, just to make sure.
If you want to help shape the remaining 3 shows this week, there is 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Rollers across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow? Instagram Day.
Sometime between the football.
Is England on tomorrow?
No, just this football.
Oh, I mean, there's 4 games for the next week and a bit.
Million years.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
For the next 9 days, there's going to be 4 games a day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Did everyone else watch Saudi Arabia beat Argentina?
It's some atmosphere in the office, wasn't it?
I mean, I went onto a call, and it was 1-0. Argentina were just slapping the ball into the back of the net for fun. Offside. Then I heard a cheer, and I thought that must be Argentina have finally got one in that's not offside. Now it's going to be 2-0. Came out and it was 2-1. I was like, no way! What the fuck? And then saw an absolute fucking Hadouken of a knee from one keeper onto fucking a match.
Rumor has it his jaws on the moon.
So yeah, good games. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be live at an AM.
Yeah, at some point tomorrow.
Or PM, one or the other. But do stick around. We are going to drop a raid on one of our friends now. I see a wild sheepfragger is playing Call of Duty Warzone. So stick around. Sheepfragger is good people. We're going to drop in and say hello. Do you know what? I actually want to try and find some time to stream some COD with Sheepfragger. I've only ever streamed once with Sheepfragger, and that was during the subathon when we was playing some PUBG then. It did come on in, I think it was the late hours when we were in the graveyard shift, and to give us a little bit of like spice to make things live and kind of thing. Yeah. But I do want to play a bit more Call of Duty Warzone. I've only played 2 games, which was on stream last Wednesday. 2 games.
It's in a much better place now.
Yeah. So, and Sheepfragger's been playing a shitload. So I know I will have lots of, how do I do this? What do I do there? So yeah. At some point, I will play some games with Sheepfragger. For now, though, we can drop a raid on him. So do stick around for that raid. For now, though, we are going to disappear. We will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.-ish. Until then,
stay frosty!